Okay, so brake service on the long range, a little bit different from the performance. I'm going to show you why, because you don't have to take all the caliper off. We're just going to start, and we're going to start with the bolts here. And it comes loose over here, and same with the next one. Okay, so that's the first pin. So the second one is sliding out easier, but remember, this can be quite hard to get out because you can see this car is 1 year old and there's a lot of corrosion here. So we're going to clean all that. So when you're tapping them out, you need to use some force. Don't be afraid, you can't do it wrong, but you can see how badly they are corroded just after 1 year. So yeah, this is going to be cleaned. The brake pad are fine, almost no wear. You can see this started to rust a little bit, but that's the iron. But here the surface is really nice, but we're just gonna put on some paste there anyways. So cleaning these ones, we use this brush, just get all this corrosion off. If it doesn't go off as easy as that, you can use some brake cleaner. But this one is not too bad to just get clean. You can see there's a big difference now. Just gonna use some brake cleaner. So just a little bit of brake cleaner just to get the old lubrication off. I think they will be fine. So now they look much better. So after your pins are cleaned, we will lubricate them, and also these brake pads doesn't need any cleaning, brushing. You can see they're all fine, they're almost as new. Just gonna put on this ceramic paste, or you can use aluminium paste. Do not use any copper paste on this one. So on the sides, here, that's the only side that's moving. When it goes in and out, clean that off and just have a tiny amount of aluminum grease there. Just a tiny amount. Okay. So that one is good to go. You also can see down here in the caliper, we can clean there with the brush. Just to get whatever is in this path here out of there, because this is the path where it's gonna glide. So get that clean and do the same thing with the second brake pad. That's done. When you finish with that one, just put your brake pads back in. And now we're going to glide the bolt over the pins. We're going to put on some things on the pins here. So on the sliding pins, we're just going to put in some high temperature lubrication. Just put on a small amount. This will make it glide easier. Do that on both. Don't use excessive, but just a small amount. Next, I'm just gonna clean this one, just to make it look nicer. Like that. So the biggest concern here was the pins. They has like a lot of corrosion on them, but the rest of the braking system is really good. Okay, so then you take your pin and you put it in the hole further down. You take your spring and you make sure the pin is entering the groove in that spring, and then you take the second pin . I'm going to take in the next hole, and you have to push the spring so it will enter. Just gonna help it a little bit like that. So now the spring is in place and both of the pins are in place, lubed up and ready to go. Now we're just gonna put them back together properly. So you make sure the locking mechanism of the expanding ring on the pin is all the way in. You do the same one on the bottom one. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So now this one is good to go. Well, I broke the camera and yeah. So the rear we'll figure out how to do later. So the rear brake is much similar to the performance. You loosen the bolt up here and the bolt down there, and you can slide off the caliper and then clean, and I will show you a link to the video where I do it on the performance, but it's pretty much the same thing. Alright, so this is the rear caliper of the performance. I'm gonna do the lubing here and cleaning. but the first thing you need to do is actually you need some help when you got the car up and you got it on the stand or whatever. You need to get it in neutral because you have to disconnect this small motor sitting here, which is the parking brake. If the parking brake isn't released, the caliper, you can't get the caliper off because it will be pressed in. So either be creative, have something holding the brake in, and secure your car. Put like put something in front and the back of every wheel so it won't roll when you get it in neutral. You can use a broom or whatever on your braking pedal because you have to put it in neutral. And when you got it in neutral, all you have to do is pop this one off. The way to do that is take a screwdriver and push this one and slide the gray one back. That will unlock it. So now that motor is disengaged, and when I turn the parking brake on now, this one won't be pushed in. So that's the first step. Second step, you have to take off this rubber cap. It's only on the top, not on the bottom. I don't know why, but it's the same on each side. That's a 8mm, I think it's a hex nut, or as we call it here in Scandinavia, umbraco. And there's one up here and one down here. So that's the lever pin. This one is an 8, and I think this one is a 6. This one is a 6. Okay, so wiggle it a little bit front and back, and it comes loose. So your braking pad is sitting on this side, and you want to clean the area where that shoe is sitting. So this is the shoe behind there. You can see it's almost not used, but there's a lot of dust here. And the area you want to brush is where it's sitting behind here. Clean that area and put some paste here. So just getting this area clean. This is the area where it's touching. Also on the other side, because this is also fixed caliper. So this one, this is just stuck there. It doesn't move. It's clamped with this I don't know what to call, but they're expanding. So we put them in, they expand, and they keep the pad in place. So this caliper is moving here. This is the sliding point. So it's fixed there, and it's moving on this part, and the rotor is also moving. So we only need to clean this one. Take just a small amount of some grease here, just a small amount. Then we can put it back in place. So since this one is fixed here, and when you brake, the caliper is fixed here, and this one cylinder is pushing in and out. So There's not too many moving parts here. The only place where things can move is in here. You can see these cylinders are moving. Same with this one. So this is moving. These ones, you can take them out and clean them with some brake fluid, wipe them off, and then you use some lubrication and lube them up again. But there's absolutely no friction or dirt in this one, so I'm not gonna bother taking this off and lube it. But you get the point. That's how we do it. And probably after winter I will dismantle this as well as this one, just to clean it back here so it doesn't burn if I drive hard in the summer again on the track or something. But right now this is all good. So just put on the bolts again. When you're finished, everything is tightened up. You plug it in and you turn your car on, and that error message you have right now will be gone.